Greetings everyone, and a warm welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a captivating topic in store for you. We'll be exploring the top 10 real-life circus performers who have both puzzled and captivated audiences for generations. So, prepare to be amazed and join us on this intriguing journey. Did you know that there was a time when people paid to watch other people's deformities? You'd probably get cancelled today if you did this, and rightfully so, but back in the day circus freaks did actually exist, and people would travel great distances to see people who had physical deformities they paid money go into a tent. And then look at the wreckage. That was somebody else's life, what we may overlook now. We were allowed to point and laugh at back then, but only if we paid to do it. Join us as we tell you about the 10 circus freaks that actually existed. Number 10. Charles Stratton. In 1838, a healthy baby boy named Charles Stratton, who would later become known as Tom Thumb, was born in Bridgeport. His parents were a waitress and a carpenter, and everything seemed normal for the first few months of his life. However, it was soon discovered that Charles had ceased growing at the age of 4. He remained a mere 25 inches tall and did not experience significant growth. In the 19th century, this condition might have led to a bleak future, but Charles managed to make the most of his life. During that time, his parents introduced him to a person who would profoundly impact his destiny, Phineas T. Barnum. Barnum recognized the potential in this diminutive yet attractive young man. He taught Charles comedy skits, but the student quickly surpassed the master, displaying a remarkable talent for improvisation. Barnum gave him the stage name General Tom Thumb and took him on tours across the United States. People from all over flocked to witness this miniature man, initially expecting to feel pity but instead being amazed by his wit and charm. General Tom Thumb even performed for illustrious figures like Queen Victoria and Abraham Lincoln. Meanwhile, Charles's employer, P.T. Barnum, also hired Lavinia Warren Bump, a 32-inch tall woman who had already gained fame as a performer. Charles fell in love with her, and they had a grand wedding, captured in photographs by Matthew Brady, and featured in magazines and newspapers nationwide. The newlyweds embarked on a 3-year working honeymoon, traveling the world. Charles performed in front of more people than anyone else in history, before the invention of television. He could arguably be considered the most successful circus attraction of all time. Number 9. Myrtle Corbin. Born in 1868 in Lincoln County, Tennessee, Myrtle was a fascinating figure known as the four-legged girl. She had a rare fetal abnormality that left her with a fully formed body from her head down to her belly button. Below that point, her body split into 2 pelvises and 4 lower limbs. What's even more remarkable is that she had 2 pairs of sexual organs, complete with 2 wombs, and 2 sets of independent bowel systems. Meaning one side could experience diarrhea, while the other was constipated. It's a truly intriguing condition. At the age of 13, Myrtle made the decision to join the Barnum Circus. Interestingly, nothing about her appearance on stage hinted at her unusual condition, except for her disproportionately large lower body and a clubbed right foot. She was otherwise a pretty girl with a normal figure. However, when she lifted her gown, the audience would gasp in amazement. Myrtle was 19 years old when she married James Clinton Bicknell, and a year later, doctors made a surprising discovery: she was pregnant from her left uterus. Although her first pregnancy ended in an abortion, Myrtle had retired from show business, eventually gave birth to 4 healthy children. While other circuses attempted to replicate the incredible success of her show by featuring ladies with supernumerary legs, they were never able to find anyone like Myrtle. To address this challenge, they employed various tricks and deceptions. Despite being labeled a freak in the world of entertainment, Myrtle led a relatively ordinary life and passed away just shy of her 60th birthday. Number 8. Fanny Mills. Fanny Mills, also known as the Ohio Bigfoot Girl, appeared to be an ordinary woman from the waist up, but her fame was centered around her unique feet. Fanny suffered from a condition that caused her feet to grow to astonishing sizes, and she decided to capitalize on her circumstances during the years 1885 to 1887. She performed in dime museums all along the East Coast, venues that showcased various anomalies like 2-headed calves. People would flock to see her, and as a result, Fanny could earn a substantial income, sometimes reaching up to $4,000 per week. Fanny Mills had Milroy's disease, a condition that primarily affects women and leads to swelling in the lower limbs. Her feet quickly swelled to an incredible size, with most accounts stating that they measured 19 inches in length and 7 inches in width. She was even reported to have worn shoes made from 3 goat skins and socks crafted from pillowcases. Although she amassed a modest fortune as the Ohio Bigfoot Girl, Fanny Mills had little opportunity to savor her success. Her health took a downturn after the birth of a stillborn child in 1887. Consequently, she chose to retire from dime museums in 1892, and at the age of 39, she passed away. Fanny Mills was a product of her era, characterized by a poorly understood medical condition. She depended on performing in dime museums as her livelihood, capitalizing on the fascination of curious spectators. Number 7, the Elastic Man Felix Weary. Felix earned the nickname, the Elastic Man, due to his remarkable ability to stretch his skin and contort his fingers, both backward and forward. His unique talent stemmed from a medical condition known as Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which primarily affects the flexibility of the skin, joints, and blood vessel walls, all connective tissues in the body. This condition granted his skin an exceptional degree of elasticity, allowing it to stretch in various directions. On the positive side, this unusual condition enabled him to participate in numerous Barnum and Bailey shows, where his talent found value. In certain situations today, such as startling people at bars or entertaining those waiting in supermarket lines, his abilities could still come in handy. Nevertheless, there's an underlying question about the morality of the sideshows of that era. Were they exploitative, profiting from individuals like Felix, or did they serve as a means of employment for those who couldn't secure work elsewhere? Number 4, Stefan Babowski. The man known as the lion-faced man might have been celebrated as a hipster if he were born in today's era. Babowski appeared to have a condition known as hypertrichosis, previously referred to as werewolf syndrome, but later understood by scientists. Hypertrichosis is a hereditary condition characterized by excessive hair growth all over the body. Stefan's unusual condition was attributed by his mother to an incident where she witnessed his father being attacked by a lion while she was pregnant. Stefan was discovered at the age of 4 in Europe, and spent a significant portion of his career touring in that region. He also performed in the United States during a tour with Barnum and Bailey. Remarkably, Stefan was not only unique in appearance but also highly intelligent, being able to speak 5 languages. It was said that he embraced his congenital condition and the opportunities it provided. In hindsight, this perspective appears wise and optimistic. According to a friend, Stefan had aspirations of becoming a dentist but found that working in the freak show industry was more financially viable. He later moved to New York in 1920 and quickly became a popular attraction at the Coney Island Dreamland Circus. Ultimately, Stefan returned to Germany and passed away due to a heart attack in 1932. Number 6, Robert Huddleston. Known as Pony Boy, Robert Huddleston likely suffered from a severe congenital disability, characterized by a condition commonly referred to as back knee deformity. Records suggest that Robert was unable to stand upright or even use crutches, which led him to adopt a unique way of moving about on all fours. Despite what appeared to be a crippling illness, Huddleston maintained an incredibly active lifestyle and demonstrated a remarkable work ethic. Robert Huddleston was born in 1895 near Excelsior Springs, Missouri, and a significant portion of his early life was spent assisting with various tasks on the family farm. This included milking cows, handling livestock, and participating in crop harvesting. During his young adulthood, Huddleston worked as a logging teamster, where he was responsible for hauling trees and lumber over considerable distances, often covering up to 15 miles a day, while connected to a wagon. To protect his hands from rocks and debris, he devised a method of attaching small wooden blocks with leather, which became well known among his peers. This physically demanding labor helped him build exceptional arm and shoulder strength. Later on, Robert Huddleston transitioned to become a performer in Texas freak shows, where he garnered significant success, thanks in part to his exceptional work ethic. His success in the Texas freak show circuit opened up opportunities with larger organizations. Huddleston eventually embarked on a North American tour with the Tom Mix Circus, where his act primarily showcased his extraordinary strength and remarkable flexibility. According to legend, he could contort his right leg across his shoulder, resembling the handling of a bale of wood. Number 5, Chong and Ing, the Siamese twins. When it comes to renowned performers, Chong and Ing are undoubtedly the most famous Siamese twins in history. They were born in Thailand in 1811, and were discovered by a British merchant, who played a pivotal role in bringing them to America, to showcase their talents in freak shows. After accumulating significant wealth from their circus performances, they made the decision to retire. Subsequently, they purchased property in North Carolina. However, like many affluent individuals of their time, they also enslaved many people. Despite being married, Chong and Ing opted to live in separate houses, with each brother spending half of the week in the other's residence. Remarkably, they fathered a total of 21 children between them. Regrettably, as is often the case with Siamese twins, Chong and Ing met their end within hours of each other. To be exact, just 2.5 hours apart. Despite having undergone surgical separation upon their arrival in the United States, apprehensions regarding the safety of additional procedures and their profound care for each other's well-being caused them to reject further surgeries. It's worth noting that the twins were not only proficient marksmen, but also skilled runners and swimmers, highlighting their extraordinary capacity to collaborate seamlessly. Number 3, Isaac Sprag. Isaac Sprag, known as the Live Skeleton, was born in 1841 and initially enjoyed good health during his childhood. However, his parents noticed a drastic and unexplained weight loss when he was 12 years old, which was unusual for a boy of his age. Both of his parents were healthy, so they were puzzled by the mysterious illness that had befallen him. This alarming weight loss continued until he reached the age of 18, at which point he weighed only 19 kilograms. Despite his frailty, Isaac needed to earn a living. In 1865, he crossed paths with P.T. Barnum, who convinced him to join his show for a weekly salary of $80. Adjusted for today's standards, this would be equivalent to $1,320 per week, making it decent money for relatively undemanding work. However, it came at the price of enduring daily humiliation due to his condition. Isaac went on to marry and start a family, even having healthy children. This meant that he had to continue with the grueling work to support his family. When he turned 41, he received a diagnosis of extreme muscle atrophy, a condition linked to the disorder responsible for his emaciation. Because of his fame and the curiosity it generated, the medical community took an interest in his case. Harvard Medical School offered him $1,000 to conduct a post-mortem examination of his body. In the last 3 years of his life, some of Isaac's family members revealed that he lived in extreme poverty, without any financial support. Even after accepting funds from Harvard Medical School, the fate of his body following his death remains a mystery. Number 2, Mirren DeJoe. The invulnerable man. Have you ever wanted to put a blade through your chest? No, well, me either, but even so there's someone who did. Mirren DeJoe, he began doing this in his 30s, while hanging out in Amsterdam bar. He made a whole lot of money by ingesting glass and razor blades and also allowing people to pierce his body with other things. So how did he get there? Well, when he was severely wounded one day, the injury didn't actually cause him any pain or discomfort, and it had no impact on his body at all. He had believed that he was invincible since that time. He wandered freely around bars and cafes offering for people to try and kill him with a knife for money. Doctors would watch his performance several times and even offered him an X-ray. Because they believed that he was under the hypnotic influence, when he was pierced by a blade through his chest, the blade clearly passed through the vital functional organs, but Mirren was unfazed and unharmed by diet based on his condition. Despite doctors' fears that there might be bleeding after the knife was extracted, nothing happened to him. He insisted that he had guardian angels that were telling him what to do. And one day they asked him to swallow a needle that would later be surgically removed, but soon after that, he was found dead due to a punctured aorta. Nobody knows how he survived all of that time, but needless to say, don't try it at home. Number 1, Susie the Elephant Girl. Susie, affectionately known as the Elephant Girl, endured the challenges of ichthyosis, a disease that manifested in her early childhood. This condition caused her skin to thicken, take on a grayish appearance, and develop an elephant-like texture. Unfortunately, Susie also faced emotional distress, as she was frequently ridiculed and ostracized by her peers. While other children enjoyed playing in the water during summer days, Susie had to resort to pressing ice on her arms to stay cool, as her skin condition prevented her from sweating. Despite her timidity and reluctance to put herself on display, Susie found opportunities to participate in freak shows during the 1920s. Surprisingly, she became a massive success and earned a significant income throughout her career. She even secured a position with the Ringling Brothers, a pinnacle of the entertainment industry at the time. For those involved in freak shows, it wasn't about being nasty or intense, it was a question of how much they would be compensated for enduring mockery and laughter. They were in essence, ordinary people trying to navigate life's challenges. That's a wrap on our list of the top 10 circus freaks that actually existed. Which one intrigues you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more mind-boggling content. Thanks for joining us today, and remember, the truth is out there. Until next time, stay curious.